Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. So today I'm going to be showing you my Apple ecosystem and how I actually utilize each and every item in my ecosystem. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Sit back, relax, grab a drink, and let's start off with the first thing. So the first thing you're probably wondering is, where is his Apple Watch? Well, I sold my Apple Watch and I replaced it for a normal watch, and the watch that I replaced it with is this very here watch called the Hamilton, and this is a watch that is in Interstellar. So if you haven't seen that movie, go ahead and watch that movie because it's an epic movie. Let's start off then with the Apple iPhone Mini 13. Now this phone is controversial. A lot of people didn't like it. Some people do like it. Now for me, I know it didn't sell very well. The sales figures were pretty bad, and that's why they've discontinued it, and that's why they're not making an Apple iPhone 14 mini. But for me, honestly, this is the perfect phone. I've come from a normal iPhone 13 and dropping down to the iPhone 13 mini. I love it. It's perfect for me. It fits most pockets. It's really easy to use. The ergonomics are really good. I don't have the biggest hands, so for myself, it's just the perfect phone. I know a lot of people have an issue with the battery, but for me that's not been an issue so far because I don't tend to use it as much because it is a smaller screen. Talking about the battery life, the next thing I want to talk about is the Apple MagSafe battery. Now you don't have to go with a MagSafe battery made by Apple, you can go with any other company. I do have a couple of other ones, but I didn't put them in this video. But this battery has taken me out of a pickle quite a few times, and it's just nice to have. I do take it to the gym with me when I do go to the gym, because that's where I tend to use most of my battery on my phone, with music, YouTube, Instagram, all that kind of social media stuff. It does come with a USB Type-C charging port as well, so you don't have to carry a lightning bolt cable with you. Next item in my ecosystem is the MX Master 3. Now this is a legendary mouse. I do love this mouse. It saved me a ton of time editing and just being able to make my life so much easier, and you can use it on 3 different platforms. You just got to change the button at the bottom, and you've got the scroll wheel on the side, these mappable buttons. I mean, there's so many different functions you can do with this mouse. I could go on forever. It is a awesome mouse. It is a little bit on the pricey side. It's about $100. You could probably pick a used one up for like half the price. Maybe, I don't know, I'd have to look into it, but yeah, definitely worth the buy. I do love it. Next up we have the iPad Mini 6th generation. Now I used to have an iPad Air 2, and I've also had an iPad Mini 5th generation, and both of them, I got rid of. They were old devices and they were only 64 gigabytes. This one is 256 gigabytes, and it saved me so much time and effort by being able to write my notes using my Apple Pencil Generation 2, and just being able to draw, being able to do things like make notes, write scripts for YouTube, and just being able to do a ton of other stuff, and me being able to use the Apple Pencil for the first time, and I was blown away. It's such an awesome thing to be able to draw on your iPad, and I've never experienced this before, so for me it's just really cool. It was something really different and something that I really do love doing, and I can't wait to actually start learning to draw with this Apple Pencil and being able to use its functions, because I know there's so many different functions that you can do with this Apple Pencil. So I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg with it at the moment, but I totally recommend it. If you've got an iPad that can use a Apple Pencil, I totally recommend you get an Apple Pencil and just use it and have a ton of fun with it, because that's what I've been doing for the last few weeks. And it's just amazing just being able to use an Apple Pencil and just be able to do fun stuff with it. It's just been really, really good, and I've really enjoyed myself doing it. Before we move on to the next item in the ecosystem, I'd like to give you a quick sound test of the iPad Mini. Consoles such as the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, the NES, that kind of stuff, 8-bit stuff. So there's quite a lot of stuff on here that you can actually now play. And screen orientation for the GBA is probably the worst, and I'll show you that first. Another thing that's worth pointing out is that this iPad comes with bezels, and I don't really like bezels on devices, especially in 2024. I think bezels should not be a thing. It should be a thing of the past. But with this iPad I've made an exception. I do like the bezels because it stops you from clicking on things and opening apps that you don't really want to open. So for that reason, I do like the bezels on this iPad Mini 6th generation. Okay, one last side note then. Gaming on the iPad Mini 6, can you game on this device? And the short and quick answer is yes, you can. So I played a ton of different games on this iPad, but I'm only showing off GTA Chinatown Wars. And the reason for that is because of copyright issues and stuff like that. When I was running it through YouTube, I couldn't actually play the sound, and that's the reason why I've had to turn the sound off here as well. So I had to go back and re-edit the video. But anyway, as you can see, there's no frame rate issues, no screen tearing or any of those issues, no frame rate drops. So it can actually handle gaming really well. You can also add emulators onto your Apple devices now. I haven't done it as such. I've done it on my iPhone and I dabbled with it for a little bit, and then I bought my Analog Pocket, and after that I stopped doing that. So if you want to watch that video, I'll leave a link in the top right corner and you can watch the Analog Pocket video. I will be making another extensive video on the Analog Pocket. But yeah, you can game on the iPad mini 6th generation and you can have a ton of fun. It's a nice big screen and it looks really cool. Sorry about the sound guys, I couldn't add it into this video. So the next item in the Apple ecosystem, we have the MacBook Air M1, and this is the base model guys. It just comes with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of onboard storage. More on storage a little bit later. I think now would be a good time to also mention that this device is no slouch when it comes to actual video editing and adding effects and all that kind of stuff, because I've done all of that on this device and I've had no issues. The screen on this laptop is beautiful. It's actually gorgeous. It's a Retina display and the colors really pop. When it comes to the keyboard, I do love the keyboard. I like the way the keys are spaced out. I like the trackpad. Everything on this laptop is amazing, although I do find myself using the MX Master 3 as well and the trackpad, so it's a combination of both. So yeah, that was the MacBook Air M1, the 8GB version. A wonderful device. I totally recommend it if you're trying to get into the Apple ecosystem. Anyway, moving on swiftly, the next item that we're going to talk about is your actual storage options. Now you've got quite a few different options when it comes to storage. I tend to use two different variants of storage for my files. So I've got this Western Digital SSD here. I also use this USB type C and also USB type A dongle, and I've got a 1TB SD card stuck in there, so it's got all my files that I need that I can also put into the actual laptop itself and start editing right away, or just use them as storage. So ports, you only get a couple and it's not very good, and on the other side of the actual laptop you just get a headphone jack, which is quite is quite bare bones to say the least. And that brings us to the next part of the actual ecosystem, and that's accessories. Now I did buy this accessory. It's a dongle from Amazon. I can't remember how much it was and I don't have the link either, so I do apologize, but you can pick loads of these up, and this comes with two USB type A ports, also a memory card SD card reader and a other card reader, and also you get a HDMI out, which is very important for when you're actually connecting your laptop to a monitor, which I do tend to do sometimes, but majority of the times I just use the laptop as it is. Next up in the ecosystem, we have the Apple AirPods Generation 2. Although I would like to actually upgrade to the Gen 3s, because the battery is not so great on these anymore, because I have used them quite extensively and excessively. So I do use these a lot when I go for a walk, when I'm going to the gym, if I'm making phone calls. So these are getting used all the time, so that's the reason why the battery has actually depleted. And that was all the items that I have so far in my Apple ecosystem. Don't get me wrong though guys, I still have my PC and I do a lot of stuff on my PC as well, so it's good to have two different operating systems, so being able to use stuff on Windows and being able to use stuff on Mac OS and also iOS. It's just really good to have all these things together and being able to collaborate all the stuff that I can do. It just opens a lot of different avenues, just for me to experiment with both of these different operating systems. Anyway guys, that's a wrap. Please do like, share and subscribe. I want to give a shout out to all you guys who have been watching my videos, liking and commenting. Thank you so much for that. Please keep that coming. And stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. I would like to also do a video on the pricing of these products in 2024, so watch out for that one. Anyway guys, as always, stay safe and peace.